What's up? Welcome in. Happy Monday, Bears fans. It is Chicago Bears Now by Chat Sports. My name is Harrison Graham. Hope you had a fantastic weekend. I sure did. Was in a wedding. That was fun. Father's Day. Always a fun day with the U.S. Open on. Of course, I'm a dad now. Have been for a couple years, so makes it a little more special. So that was enjoyable. And now we're back to talk some Bears football. So appreciate the patience. There was some internet streaming issues last Thursday, so weren't able to go live, but still was able to put out content every single day, and now we should be back on our relatively normal schedule this week. Shout out your city. Let us know where you're tuning in from, as we'll get some shout-outs going here. We also welcome back to the program the fine folks have been asking for it here on Chicago Bears Now. That is OG producer Jack Lauderay. He's fixing some things behind the scenes, and then we'll put him up on screen. But Colin is still up with the fine folks in Canada. He's flying home today, and so he'll be back live on the channel Thursday. But Jack, welcome back. It's a slow time of the year, but always a good day to talk Bears football.
I am so happy to be back. I love my Bears Now family. I just retweeted your tweet. And I said, "Is it 2021 all over again?" We are back. I'm excited.
We've gone through a full coaching cycle. You've obviously been on, but since you were, it's crazy how fast time flies. The last time you were fully with us, it was the Matt Nagy era. Still.
Everyone forgets that you and I coined the term "Thanks Nagy."
Thanks Nagy.
That was us.
That's right.
I'm very happy to be back, although I am in all black today because it is a funeral for my Boston Red Sox, but that's okay. I'm happy to be back talking Bears football. The Bears.
Jack's Red Sox out-Luca'd the Mavs by trading Rafael Devers.
Literally.
So, official statement?
Literally. It's okay. This is not the Red Sox rundown, which you should
You should go check out.
Which you should subscribe to because I host that channel. It's worse than the Luka trade.
That's a statement.
Because it's the same type of scenario. They didn't shop him. They just traded him to San Francisco. There was a bunch of drama behind the scenes with the GM and with the player. And the reason why it's worse is because the Mavs had to pay Luka. They had not locked him down to an extension. Devers was locked down for the next 7 years. He had already been paid. And then secondly, the return that the Red Sox got back was far worse than the return that the Mavs got back.
Yeah, look, as bad as the Mavs trade was, at least Anthony Davis is a good player. That at least can be acknowledged. But yeah, that's tough scenes. But so kudos to Jack for putting his bootstraps on today, coming into the office. PTO certainly would have been acceptable.
I considered taking a bereavement day. I actually did. I'm not even joking.
Oh, that's good stuff. We got Sam in Naples, Florida, Gordon in Rockford, Illinois. What's up, L2 Cloud? Yeah, the Cubs are rolling. Nothing happened to Colin. He's traveling back. He's been on vacation. He's been in Canada. He went up for the F1 race, so he'll be back tomorrow. Then if you guys follow him on Instagram, he put some clips up. But he'll be back tomorrow, and then we'll be back live on the channel Thursday, so that'll be good. San Diego, Texas, is that a real place? I'm not sure. Lexington, Kentucky from Ron C. Lacora, and Dungeonville, Illinois. Tampa Bay is where number one crush is. Aaron repping the White Sox. I'll tell you what, the White Sox have a long way to go, but they're a lot scrappier under new ownership should help, and they're a lot scrappier under why am I blanking on the manager? What's his name? Will Venable. Yes.
I don't follow the White Sox at all. They gave us Garrett Crochet.
Dallas, Iowa. That's funny. All right, what do we got a couple super chats coming in. We can work those in here in a few moments. We got Keegan in Fayetteville, Arkansas. I saw the Eberflus stuff. I'm really not touching on that for a couple reasons. One, the film thing was already clarified by Caleb. And by the way, from the beginning, we never said that no film was being watched. It was when players it was more of just that extra stuff, right? Like on Caleb's extra time, he didn't really have any extra direction from anyone else, which I think is a big reason why Case Keenum is here now. So Eberflus on a podcast, a Cowboys podcast, was asked about it and basically just said, just to be clear, we did watch film, but it was a very generic, bland statement, very Matt Eberflus style. So I don't really care, to be honest. Good luck to Flus. Hopefully the Bears kick his ass in week 3, but that's really all I have to say about it. I'm not really going to talk about it on the show. I don't think it was really newsworthy, to be honest. Aaron, why didn't the Bears extend Deontay Foreman? Speaking of going backwards, I don't know, because he's just okay. He is a free agent. He's still out there if the Bears want to sign him. I always liked him as a between the tackles runner. He is physical, so if they're underwhelmed by Roshan and Kyle Monungai in camp and he's still available, they could bring him in for cheap, but he's not really a guy you extend. He's like a year-to-year player, right? He's a classic guy who signs one-year contracts every year. So didn't think we'd be flying out of the gates with Deontay Foreman questions, but I appreciate it, Aaron. Thanks for the 2. We got Tekalalo saying, would you rather trade for Trey Hendrickson or sign both Za'Darius Smith and Jadeveon Clowney? It's a good question. We'll use that in the mailbag as well. If the trade and contract compensation aren't outrageous, I'd probably rather swing big for Hendrickson. I also don't think they would sign both. I wouldn't be against it. I don't think you never have enough pass rushers, but they already gave Dio Adengbo money. I don't think they would sign both Smith and Clowney. But I do think signing one makes sense, and I would certainly be open to that. I would probably rather swing big for Trey, but if you told me they end up with one or Smith or Clowney, I would be on board because that edge group, you need another player in there for sure. All right, you going on vacation this summer? And if you are, where are you guys going? My wife and I are going to go up to New York. We were thinking about Chicago, but I think we're going to do New York. That's where her dad's side of the family is from there, so I think we're going to do that, then maybe do Chicago either in the fall during the Bears bye week or something like that. So we'll see. We'll definitely be back in the Windy City soon, but I think we're going to go to New York in July. We got Jaja saying Colorado. Got a couple family cabins in Colorado. Not going this year, but love Colorado, that's for sure. Let's see. Nick says he's going to Vegas for a buddy's birthday. Same week as Bears Raiders. You going to go to the game as well, or are you just going to go kick it at the sports book? Either way, good option there. Corey's going to Vegas also. You know, I've never actually been to Vegas, sadly enough. I've flown through, but my buddy's bachelor party for that wedding I was in last weekend was in Vegas, but I couldn't make it. So, just haven't been able to get out there for whatever reason. Luke's going to Hawaii. That sounds good. Kings Island from TJ. Paul Jackson going to Morocco. That sounds fun. Vermont in July. I've never been to Vermont, but my wife has. It's supposed to be very beautiful up there, so that should be good. Mars, Miami, or Colorado. Jack, are you going anywhere?
A week from this Saturday, myself and Sarah, my girlfriend, will be hopping on a plane, flying to, take a guess.
Let me guess. Disney? You going
No.
to Florida? No?
No.
Okay. You're a big Disney guy. Gosh, I don't know. Boston
It's very
for
on,
the
yeah, very
Red
on
Sox.
the nose.
Are you a little like, this kind of sucks now? I mean, I know it'll still be fun. Trip with your girlfriend's always fun, but like, it's got to be a kick in the nuts, right? Like, they're playing good ball right now, then they trade their best player 2 weeks before you go on vacation to go see them play?
Don't even get me started. They traded him the same day they completed a sweep of the Yankees and got within a half a game of a wild card spot. That's a kick in the nuts. No, I'm still excited because I haven't been to Fenway in a while. We're going to 3 games.
Y'all just doing Boston or?
What's up?
Are y'all just doing Boston?
We're doing Boston and like Cape Cod.
Okay, nice.
So I think we're going to Nantucket, and then we're going to go to Martha's Vineyard.
Nice.
But it's me, Sarah, and my parents, so we're all going to be there.
Nice.
But I am excited to see the kids. I saw Christian Campbell made his debut in Texas, so I got to see him.
Who's the new guy? Romano? Is that his name?
Roman Anthony.
Roman Anthony, yeah.
And Marcelo Meyer are both up. So, and I didn't get to see either of them, so I'm excited. And also, The first game we're going to, just happenstance, on-field photo day.
Okay.
So we get to go on the
That's
field,
cool.
and we get to take photos with players. It's going to be sick.
Just no Devers.
No Devers, though.
See, Ganji is on vacation right now. West Plains, Missouri. Is that in the Ozarks? I don't know much about Missouri except for the Ozarks and obviously St. Louis and big cities, Kansas City. Brendan and Steven going to Chicago. Got to get back, man. Had a blast in the fall. I don't know if anyone that's watching met up with me that one night in Chicago and Wrigleyville. That was fun, man. Is that Moose I hear? Moose is somewhere. He's somewhere in the building. Not in this studio, though. All right, Anthony says, yes, San Diego, Texas is real. Do you think a change in ownership will have a major impact on the team? Well, to be clear, if you're referring to our video earlier today, it's not a change in like the primary ownership. The McCaskey, the House family, they're not selling. But Anthony McKenna, who had 2% minority ownership in shares, he died a couple years ago, and those shares are available. So, could that 2% lead to help on a stadium project? Perhaps. Could the McCaskies sell 3% of their ownership and make it a 5% share and sell to a private equity group and get, I don't know, $600-700 million bucks? I think that's possible. And so yeah, that could definitely make an impact if you have more cash flow when you're trying to fund a stadium, extra money to have when you're in free agency, so on and so forth. In terms of signing bonuses, obviously the cap is the cap, but the teams who are willing to spend more in real time, like the Eagles, who have basically limitless pockets from their owner, Jeffrey Lurie, it allows you to get creative with the cap and throw more money in signing bonuses to keep those cap hits down. Okay, Bears goated. Just got my Mustang, and Ben's our head coach. Life is good. That sounds fantastic, Bears goated. I used to have I drove a Challenger late in college, or about midway through college until about 2.5 years ago. Then when I found out my wife was pregnant, I was like, yeah, it's time to trade this bad boy in. Go more practical. But that sounds sick, man. Sounds sick. Send me a DM at HGramNFL. Send me a picture. Would love to see it. Yeah, you do have a nice Charger. What year is that? You've had that for a little bit. Yeah, 16. Mine was a 13, so I had it about 10 years. That's still pretty good, though. It's not that many. You'd probably still get a decent penny for that if you traded it in. All right. Got a lot to get to here on Chicago Bears Now. Hit that like button. We got over 200 people watching live on the channel. Appreciate that. Yeah, we need more likes. Hit the like button. I know it's June, it's slow, but we would greatly, greatly appreciate it. So please do so. Here's what we got coming up here on the channel. If producer, there we go. Producer Jack's got the right graphic here. All right, Colin Cowherd had some comments on Caleb Williams, had a dinner with Kevin Warren. He's living in Chicago now, Cowherd is. So I think you're going to hear him talk about the Bears even more. So when he says interesting stuff, I'm going to react like he did here. Hashtag Bears or Super Chat if you want to get your questions answered. If you Super Chat, you can jump to the top of the line. Hashtag Bears will get to those questions as well. And then lastly, I just thought, it's mini camps are done, OTAs are done. So I'm going to go through a few reasons why I think Chicago could win the NFC North. This is not an official prediction, but why they could win the division. So we got all that and more coming up. Hit that like button, and let's dive on in to today's program. Coming up on Chicago Bears Now, Colin Cowherd had dinner with Kevin Warren, and here's what he had to say about Caleb Williams on his show. I'm going to react to some of these quotes and kind of give my thoughts where Caleb sits heading into year 2 of his NFL career and with the Chicago Bears. Cowherd first talked about Caleb's rookie season. He said, look, it's hard to grow in chaos. You're just trying to go day-to-day, meal-to-meal, week-to-week, and survive. I had dinner with Bears president Kevin Warren, and we were talking a lot about Caleb Williams. I said, first of all, he was better than he was given credit for. Last year, they fired their head coach. They fired their offensive coordinator. Their passing game coordinator, Thomas Brown, became their head coach against Dan Campbell, Matt LaFleur, Kevin O'Connell. Not great, and yet he set, I don't know why I typed set a Bears rookie record for passing yards and touchdowns. And I've said this. Did Caleb Williams light it up his rookie year? No. But there were big-time light-it-up moments. He was clutch in a lot of fourth quarters, and his team let him down, most notably his coaching in several of those instances. And when you just put the numbers on screen, it's like, this is an above-average rookie season. And when you factor in the coaching debacles, the late-game miscues, the pretty brutal offensive line play, I think in general, Caleb Williams did pretty well as a rookie. Did he live up the hype? No. Did Jaden Daniels outplay him? No doubt about it. But I think when you factor everything in, I think Caleb handled last year pretty well. I think there's a lot to learn there. If you're a young player like Caleb Williams, to just build on moving forward, like, hey, like if that's as bad as it gets, I can handle that just fine. So I agree with Cowherd that considering all of the factors, there was a lot to like about his rookie season. Now, a lot more here from Cowherd on Caleb, so stick with us here. He said that first year at USC, Caleb was magical. The first 6 games in his second year at USC, he had 21 touchdowns and 1 pick. If you look at his first 18 games at USC, he was unbelievable. Then the last 6 games, it was a disaster. So what happened? Notre Dame sacked him 6 times. USC had been doing smoke and mirrors and pass protection, and it all unraveled against a really good coach and a Notre Dame defense. That point forward, Lincoln Riley knew he had the number 1 draft pick and didn't want him to get hurt. He went into protection mode with Caleb. He shrinks the playbook, didn't allow him to run certain stuff. And then Caleb, knowing he's the number 1 pick, went into survival mode. He was just trying to get into and through the season. He ends up in Chicago with the staff in survival mode. Caleb Williams was in survival mode. There's no growth in survival mode. So Ben Johnson's job in Chicago is extreme quarterback makeover. The talent is all there, but they've got to renovate the house. And I think, look, losing takes a toll. Getting sacked a lot takes a toll, and that's happened the last year and a half to Caleb. He hasn't won a bunch. I remember at the end of his season at USC when he talked to the combine, he's like, yeah, like we lost 5 of the last 6 games. I hadn't experienced something like that before. Last year, Bears were off to a 4-2 start. They were about to steal a game in Washington to get to 5-2. The vibes could have been high. Hail Mary happens. They lose 10 in a row. The thing fell apart. The coaching staff just was not trusted by the players anymore. So this is a guy who went 22-5 in his first 27 collegiate starts, and in his last 23 games, typo there too, my fault, he's 6-17. Like, losing takes a toll. It adds up. And again, I think Caleb has handled these things mostly pretty well, but it's fair to say, yeah, like it's been a challenging couple of years for him. It's been a mental test, and that's what's going to make this year so fascinating for him, because as we're going to detail shortly, and as Cowherd pointed out with the Ben Johnson edition of, it's about QB makeover, like the Bears have invested heavily in getting this thing and this quarterback back in the right space and his career on the trajectory that we all believed it could be when they drafted him number 1 overall. Will Caleb Williams break out in 2025? Type Y for yes or type N for no. There's a lot of reason for optimism, but given the Bears' history and just how fans have been burned before, skepticism is certainly warranted. Okay, get yourself an 18 jersey, represent QB1 for only $100. Chatsports.com/Caleb jersey. Still have plenty of these left if you want to get one before the season. Link is in the comments and description. Chatsports.com/Caleb jersey. Okay, does Caleb finally have stability? I think he does for the most part. And this really is the main reason. Matt Eberflus out, ejected, Ben Johnson in, hired. I just think it's such an upgrade. I really, really do. And that's saying a lot for a guy who's never been a head coach in Ben Johnson. But even if some of the head coach duties, like the in-game management and certain things, take some time, which they will, the offense and just the ability to game plan and sequence play calling and understanding how to connect and relate to a quarterback, the communication skills, like that's all just going to be such a massive upgrade. Like, you're already seeing it. Players are talking about it. Reporters are talking about it. Caleb's talked about it. You just listen to Ben talk, like it's easy to see it. That is going to be a massive upgrade. And obviously, I think the assistant coaching staff is good as well. That goes offense and defense. So I just think coaching upgrades, regardless of how good they are, they will be much better, in my opinion, than what they had under Matt Eberflus. Number 2, a more on-the-field thing. The offensive line upgrades are pretty obvious. Left guard last year, Tevin Jenkins for about 60% of the snaps, backups otherwise. Tevin's a nice player, even if he played 100% of the snaps. Joe Thuney's a clear upgrade. Drew Dahlman is a huge upgrade from what they've had at center for several years now. Massive upgrade there. And Jonah Jackson, while last year didn't go great with the Rams, they tried to make him a center. He got hurt. That didn't really work out that well. He is still, if healthy, so much better than the Nate Davis, Matt Pryor situation. And I committed Matt Pryor last year. I thought in a bad situation he played at a serviceable level. I think at minimum, Jonah Jackson will be a little better than serviceable. And at maximum, he could be really damn good. He's been in this scheme before. He was a Pro Bowler under Ben Johnson. Like, he can be a very, very good player. And at left tackle, at worst, you have kind of what you've had, which is a solid player in Braxton Jones, serviceable at worst. Perhaps Ozzy Trapilo or Kron Amagaji is an upgrade. We'll see. And then Darnell Wright in year 3 should take a jump, and he played pretty well down the stretch last year. So the offensive line, especially on the interior, on paper, got to see it play out, is, I would say, pretty significantly better. Okay, number 3, Case Keenum is a mentor. All these film studies, and Eberflus commented on it recently. And look, that whole story was never that they didn't literally watch film at all during the season. Of course, they had team coaches with position groups film sessions, but it's the overtime, right? When a quarterback after hours is in there watching film. Caleb, as a rookie quarterback, didn't have someone to lean on. Shane Waldron wasn't putting in the extra time with Caleb, it sounds like he should have been. They didn't have a veteran quarterback like a Case Keenum last year. That's Case's role. Hey, Caleb, let's get an extra 90-minute film session here. Case Keenum can help him do that and, kind of teach him those kind of tricks of the trade to kind of efficiently watch film and point out things that he notices because he's been in the league for 15 years. So I think that's going to be critical, especially during the week, but also on game days as well. If things aren't going well, take a deep breath. Let's get on the iPad and take a look at what happened on that last drive. But I think the Case Keenum effect is an underrated thing that the Bears have done this offseason. And then lastly, just even more weapons, right? I mean, the Bears' weaponry was pretty decent last year, right? I mean, I know DJ had a bit of a down year, but still a really good player. Rome was a solid rookie. Keenan Allen did some good things. Cole Kmet's solid, even though they didn't use him a bunch, but you still have DJ and Rome. You draft Luther Burden in the second round. You sign Olamide Zaccheaus. You add Colston Loveland to the tight end room to pair with Cole Kmet. Didn't do a ton at running back. But you still did add Kyle Monangai. We'll see if they add another position there, or another player at that position. But really, other than that, they've invested. Other than taking Travion Henderson in the second round, which, by the way, if that would have happened, if that would have worked out, that means they wouldn't have had Luther Burden, which, again, would have been fine. I think they have enough at receiver. But, they still got an offensive weapon there, right, where they probably ideally wanted a running back in that second round. It's not like they didn't get the running back they wanted and they took a safety or something like that. They still invested in Caleb in the offense. So you have to feel pretty good about that. And if Ben Johnson is who we think he can be, then this is going to work. And if it doesn't work out, that's probably going to be on the quarterback, if we're being completely honest. Predict the Bears' 2025 record. 17 games. What is the record going to be? Give us your thoughts down in the comments below. And I think we'll find out 2 main things in 2025. Just how good Caleb is, or at least could be. At least by the end of this year, we'll be okay, he's pretty good. He could be special. Whereas right now, I think we all still think he'll be at least pretty good. And I still have hope that he could be special. We'll see. And then also, if the Ben Johnson effect is real or not. I think we all think Ben is a very good offensive coordinator. We know he's a good play caller. but just how good can he continue to be in that role while also being the head coach? We're going to find out the answer to those two questions. I feel pretty confident in that. Okay, that's going to do it for this episode of Chicago Bears Now. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button on the way out. We publish content every single day. Bear down. All right, hashtag Bears or Super Chat to get your questions on the show. NFL Productions predicting 10 wins. Ron, 15-2. That would be something. Alex, 9-8. Tim, Erica, both saying 10-7. Ja saying 11-6. Luke says anywhere from 9 to 12 wins. Agent Mania will be lit. We'll see. Sounds like he got outplayed by Case Keenum in OTAs, but we'll see how that goes. Terrell says 12-5. Get those questions in, though, if you have any trade ideas, questions about who the Bears could still sign, or other thoughts. Fire away, hashtag Bears or Super Chat to get your questions on the show. Hashtag Bears or Super Chat like Adam just did. Who is – I don't even know who that is. Tia Tawa. I have no idea who this is, Adam. Is that, are you talking about Talia Tungavailoa? Or are you talking about Toa Tawa? Talking about Toa Tawa? The Michigan Panthers? I'm seeing him here on my Wikipedia. 5-year player. Okay, Adam, I see. Toa Tawa. What did he do in the XFL or UFL this year? Let's see. 356 rushing yards, 6 TDs, 76 receiving yards. He averaged about 4.3 yards per carry. That doesn't strike me as like he could be your RB2, but if you want to add a depth piece, sure. Competition, sure. Interesting name. All right. Need more questions. Tim's got one in there. I know we got that super from earlier as well. You can just flash this real quick. Adam, appreciate the 2. Caleb will be fine. Adam Downing, appreciate this. This is Toa Tawa as well. Appreciate the 5 on that one. Alex got a question in there. Let's get a few more in. Jose says, I'll take that over Travis Homer. Well, it depends. How can Tawa play on special teams? That's really Homer's buzz. Keegan said just saw some Komet trade buzz. He's not getting traded. He's not getting traded. His contract isn't really tradable, and Colston Loveland's yet to practice. And they want to run 12 personnel with 2 tight ends. They're not trading. Next year, maybe.
Well, never say never.
They're not trading. Not right now. Maybe next year. Not right now. Not right now. Okay. Do we have enough to get started? Let's get a few more in. Hashtag Bears or Super Chat. We got 300 people watching. Free agent questions, trade questions, training camp. We got 4 questions in. Let's get a couple more. See, like Jake Fahey, I would love to answer that question. If you copy-paste it and then throw hashtag Bears in it, we can answer it. That's how our software picks it up. Like Alex Weddle, follow that format, Jake. Just throw hashtag Bears in your message so our software can pick it up. Just like Aaron just did as well. Just like Aaron did. Okay, hashtag Bears Super Chat. I think we have enough to get started. We will jump into this mailbag, and then coming up in about 12, 15 minutes, we will get back to our last segment, which is why the Bears could win the NFC North this year. Okay, Jake, that should work. You didn't have to do Bears Now by Chat Sports, but we'll be able to pull it. Yeah, hit that like button. All right, we got a lot to get it to. What's up? Do both. Yep. Can you also publish that short if you're publishing it on main today for YouTube? Okay, do it the next day then for 4 verts. That one will be good for that one too. Yep. All right, here we go. We got a lot of questions in there now. Hashtag Bears Super Chat. Let's roll on into this mailbag. I'm Harrison Graham. It's time for another Bears Now mailbag. We do these every Monday and Thursday live on the channel. There's been a few exceptions recently with me being out of the office, but typically every Monday and Thursday live at 4 o'clock Central Time. So be sure to subscribe and join us every Monday and Thursday for our live Q&A episodes where you guys use hashtag Bears or Super Chat. Just like Luther Truther did, are you concerned about Luther Burden after missing all of OTAs? I think it's fair to at least be mildly concerned. Now, am I concerned about like what it's going to mean for his career? Not really, because if he's good and puts in the work, he's going to be good. If he's not as good as we thought, or if he doesn't put in enough work, if he doesn't have a passion for the game, it's going to be tougher. When you get to the NFL, you got to really care about the game to be great. And I think he's got tools to be great. I really, really do. I think his quickness, his route running, his ability to make plays with the football in his hand, the yards after the catch juice, he's got it. It's just about putting the work in. And those were the only whispers coming out of Missouri is like, sometimes does he take plays off? There was some chatter of that. But in the second round, taking a swing at a top 15 talent in a draft, I think that was worthwhile. Ben Johnson said it, look, when you're out, you miss valuable reps. So, yeah, I think in the short term, I'm mildly concerned. But if he's there to start training camp and he's playing catch-up, I'm certainly not panicking. The good news about the Bears is they don't need him to be like a baller early on. Just be a good contributor. You got Zacchaeus in there as well after DJ and Rome. So I feel okay for now. Let's revisit this in training camp if he's out there or not. How concerned are you with Luther Burden? Scale of 1 to 10. 10 being very concerned, 1 being not at all. I don't know, 3.5, 4. Again, like mildly concerned for the short term. Long term, I'm at like a 2. I'm not very concerned at all. So let's revisit this in training camp if he's not out there. Okay, Jekalolo, who would Tekalolo? Jesus, my eyes. Got to book an appointment. Would you rather trade for Trey Hendrickson or sign both Za'Darius Smith and Jadeveon Clowney? Probably still trade for Trey unless it costs first-round pick. I'm not giving up a 1 for him, but if I can get him for a day 2 pick and something else, or just a day 2 pick, and then pay him a contract in the low 30s, 32 to 34 million per year on a 2 or 3 year extension, I'd probably rather swing big and do that. But if you told me they ended up with Smith and or Clowney, that'd be cool too. I don't think they would do both for what it's worth. I think one could be in play. Smith the better pass rusher, Clowney the better run defender. Kind of pick your poison. I'd probably go Za'Darius Smith, but if they got any of these 3 players, like if you told me they're guaranteed to get one of them, I'd be pretty happy. Anthony Montez with another super chat. Appreciate the 5. He says, yes, San Diego, Texas is real. This is in reference to something before this segment. Do you think a change in ownership will have a major impact on the team? So just to clarify, I did a video Monday morning about Anthony McKenna's 2% ownership stake could be sold to a private equity group. He died a couple years ago, and I kind of put 2 and 2 together and said, maybe that money could help turn into some stadium funding money. Maybe the McCaskies would add 3% of their equity in the team, make it a 5%, and sell to a private equity group. Who knows, right? But to be clear, the McCaskies are not selling. It's a minority ownership stake of 2% from Anthony McKenna. We'll see where it goes and who ends up buying that 2%, or if the McCaskies or Pat Ryan end up rebuttaling and they purchase those 2%. Luke Vasquez, would you rather want an elite running back or an elite edge rusher? Elite edge. Like, don't get me wrong, I'd love to upgrade the running back room, but if you're asking me, in general, it's easy edge. And even right now with this team right now, I would still pick edge. I still think signing an elite or trading for an elite edge either way would make a bigger impact than an elite running back. I think you can get by with the group you have at running back. Sure, you could get by with the group at edge, but if Montez Sweat goes down, that edge group's pretty damn weak. Tim Hinkie, why does it take such a long time to sign draft picks? Well, oftentimes these second-round picks, they're kind of in the sweet spot of how much years of the rookie contract do they get guaranteed, because for like third, fourth-round picks and beyond, typically they get 2 years guaranteed or close to guaranteed. And then day 3 picks may only get the first year, and even then, if they get cut, it's not fully guaranteed, I don't think. But second-year players, in recent years, most of them get that second, at least that second, if not that third year, fully guaranteed. So that's kind of why second-round picks take a little bit longer. First-round picks, unless you're the Bengals, typically are pretty cut and dry. It's slotted money. It just comes down to the signing bonus. And then day 3 players are really more about, is it just the first year? How much guarantee? It's pretty. Those players don't have much leverage. But second-round players, they've gotten good representation in recent years. So that's why the second-rounders, as of filming this on Monday, haven't yet been signed, but it'll happen. Alex Weddle, Cause said, with no more, I don't know who Cause is, with no more Ragnow or Alexander in the North, he could really see the Bears making waves this year. Is this true? I need to know who you're talking about Cause. Anybody know who he's talking about with Cause? Is it some Bears creator I'm unsure about? But, yeah, I mean, we're going to have a full segment coming up live, if you're watching live here on Monday, of why the Bears could win the NFC North. The Lions had a lot of coaches and a couple key players leave. The Packers, I think, have a bit of an identity crisis, and what is it going to look like in Minnesota with J.J. McCarthy? All those are real questions. The Bears have improved a ton on paper. So, yeah, I think the Bears should feel optimistic about their chances this year. Hit that subscribe button. We got full off-season coverage, including these mailbags every Monday and Thursday. Once training camp gets here, we're going to be ripping through content. But even before then, a lot of stuff. If there's news that pops up, we will react to it. If there are big, juicy rumors out there, we will discuss those as well. So hit that subscribe button and lock us in. All right, Johnny. Wait till early season opener prediction. Got tickets through Game Time for Soldier Field. Gonna be crazy. Can't wait. I like the Bears in the opener. Now, we'll have more information as we get closer. Are there injuries? How did training camp go? All that stuff. But a quarterback making his first start on the road in prime time, that's pretty difficult task. That's typically a pretty difficult task. And that's what J.J. McCarthy is facing. Prime time in his hometown, or at least he grew up near Chicago. In his first NFL start against what should at least be a pretty good defense, I like the Bears in that situation. Now, the Vikings are talented, good roster, but I'll lean Chicago in that one. Say, Quads, Barkley, would you rather give up a 4th and Swift for James Cook or a 2nd and a 5th for Hendrickson? It's a good question. Probably Hendrickson. I'd probably do both those trades, though. Like, you wouldn't, I don't think they would literally do both. I'm just saying, like, if you presented either of these, I would say yes to them. So I think those are both pretty solid. 2 and a 5, that's probably about as much as I would go for Hendrickson, because you're going to have to turn around and pay him. But a 4th and Swift for Cook, you go with Cook, who's a more reliable 3-down back, and then you're not relying as much as the depth pieces. Whereas with Swift, you're going to need to get a little bit more out of, Roshan, Monungai, whoever. So, yeah, I'd probably do that one too. Oscar Rodriguez, what is the game you're looking most forward to this year? Call me crazy. I think it's Washington in Washington after the bye. Just after what happened last year, Caleb and Jaden are going to be linked and connected forever. Like, I want revenge in that game. The Bears need to right that wrong after what happened last year. So I would say that one. In Detroit, week 2 for Ben Johnson's homecoming. That's a fun one as well. All the division ones. I mean, obviously, both games against the Packers are vitally important. But that Washington game, man, like I think there's a potential rivalry brewing there. I'm not going to compare it to Brady Manning or anything like that, because these players have to, prove it for years and years to come. But could it be the next big, like, conference rivalry, not necessarily division rivalry? Maybe. I think there's some bad blood there, and I'm excited to see them get after it again. All right, a couple more here. Nate Andrews, is it possible Shamar Stewart gets on the trade block with the Bengals contract stuff, and should the Bears take a serious look at him? Yeah, so if you haven't followed the Shamar Stewart saga, I broke this down on 4Verts, my other channel where we talk all things NFL and college football. There is a world where Shamar Stewart could just get traded, where he could say, I'm not doing this. Trade me. And the Bengals just bite the bullet and trade him for, like, I don't know, would he go for a day 2 pick? I mean, he's not going to get a first. I mean, would they get a third for him? Would you trade a third for him? Even that, it's still risky, right? Like, I know it sounds crazy because he went first round a couple months ago, but like, even if this is more on the Bengals than the player, do you still want that distraction that it would come with? Like, I don't know if I would trade a day 2 pick for a completely unproven commodity who couldn't even sign his rookie contract with the Bengals, even if it wasn't completely his fault. So he's a physical specimen. I didn't love him as a prospect coming out. But that's definitely an interesting storyline going on in the NFL and with the Bengals right now. Which rookie, Bears rookie, will have the best season? Colston Loveland, Luther Burden, Ozzy Trapilo, Shamar Turner? Let us know. Aaron, possibly trade for Danielle Hunter before the deadline if the Texans take a step back because they have to pay one Anderson soon. Well, they did just extend Hunter, so I don't think that's even something that's on their mind. How you're playing can always change things. I mean, if Houston's 1-6 at the trade deadline, could they trade Danielle Hunter for a second-round pick? I guess it's possible. Would I predict it? Probably not. Jose Gonzalez, do you like the Javon Dexter kicking outside to play edge rusher? If anything, the opposite's happening, Jose. He's added some weight. He talked about that. He's getting more reps at one tech. I think right now the starting 2 defensive tackles are going to be Grady Jarrett at the 3 tech, Javon Dexter at the 1 tech, with Billings as the other 1 tech who's more of a run stopper, and then Shamar Turner, Chris Williams is the other 3 tech options. That's my guess, but I don't think Dexter's going to play a ton of edge moving forward. Follow us on social media if you have more Bears, NFL, whatever questions. DMs are wide open. I'm an open book at HGramNFL. I finally caught up on my IG DM, so if you want to fire away and get your questions in, you can do that. It's at HGramNFL. Go ahead and slide into those DMs on social media. All righty. One more segment here. Uno mas. Uno mas. Jake says Ozzy. Luther Loveland from Oliver. Alrighty. We're going to get into our final segment here. If you have any more super chats, questions you're dying to get answered, fire away, and we'll answer those before the end of the show. But coming up next, why I think it's possible that the Bears could win the NFC North. We'll do that next here on Chicago Bears Now. Why the Bears can win the NFC North in 2025. I'm going to break that down here on today's episode of Chicago Bears Now. I first want to give everybody a round of applause. We crossed 124,000 subscribers over the weekend. Next goal is 125K, baby. Can we get there before training camp? This time of year, obviously, it can be a slower time, but that gives us about 6 weeks or so to get to our next milestone. If you want to subscribe, support the show, daily Bears content for free, we got you covered. Share our channel with a friend. We would appreciate that as well. I'm Harrison Graham. On today's show, I'm going to dive into the Bears' path of winning the NFC North because I do think it's a possibility for the Bears to be the team that goes from worst to first in the NFL this season. You look at the division last year, obviously, it became a 3-team division and really a 2-team division for the final month. Detroit and Minnesota had incredible regular seasons. The Packers were very good as well, won 11 games. And then the Bears, after the Hail Mary loss to Washington, never recovered. If that doesn't happen, who knows? Maybe it's a 4-team division into the month of December, but we will never know that. Things fell apart. The coaching staff started getting fired, and they lost 10 in a row in the game. The rest is history. But now we're on to 2025, and a lot of things have changed for all four of these teams. So I do think there's a path to the Bears winning the North this season. Number one reason, I think it's the most improved team in the division by far, maybe the most improved team in the NFL. Because first off, as bad as things got last year, that was better than a 5-win team. I mean, how many games late due to incompetency did they lose? Green Bay the first time. They don't want more yards. They settle for a long field goal. It gets tipped. They lose by 1 point. The Washington Hail Mary loss. Just coaching mistakes down the stretch. Tyreek Stevenson player mistake on the Hail Mary. Detroit on Thanksgiving. At minimum, that should have been a field goal attempt to force overtime and then have a chance to win there. The first Minnesota game when they rallied back, got the onside kick, and then couldn't get it done in overtime. Like there were 4, 5, 6 games that didn't go the Bears' way that could have last year, and maybe that 5-12 is 8-9. Now, that probably wouldn't have been for the best because they probably would have kept Matt Eberflus, but my point is they were already better than what their record says just in terms of talent last year, but now you improve the coaching staff, go from Flus to Ben Johnson and all the way across the board. You trade for Jonah Jackson, Joe Thuney. You signed Drew Dahlman. You signed Daiwa Dangbo, Grady Jarrett. You add key pieces in free agency. You get Colston, Loveland, Luther Bird in the draft, who haven't practiced much this spring, so we'll see how quickly they pick things up. But I think you found a couple other contributors as well. Ozzy Trapilo, Shamar Turner, Kyle Monungai. Like, on paper, I think this team improved more than any other team in the division. The only notable losses are Keenan Allen, who still is unsigned, and Tevin Jenkins, who's signed to be a backup in Cleveland. So your two biggest losses, one still hasn't signed, and the other one signed on to be a backup for basically no money with the Browns. That's pretty telling when it comes to your roster situation. Okay, number 2. The Vikings' major quarterback question. Listen, J.J. McCarthy, there's a lot to like about him. The intangibles, natural leader. I think he's got a pretty good arm. The reality is he's played 0 snaps in the NFL. I don't care how good Kevin O'Connell is. I don't care how touted McCarthy is as a player. The reality of life in the NFL is until you play, you are a complete unknown. And that is what he is. We have one preseason game of pretty good tape to go off of. And the preseason means very close to nil. Very close to nil. No one's running complex stuff. It's all vanilla, just sit and cover 2. Like, no one's trying to give anything away. I like JJ. I have no idea if he's going to be a good pro. Maybe he's going to be awesome. Who knows? But say what you want about Sam Darnold. Until the last 2 games, Week 18 in the playoff game, he played like a top 6, top 7 quarterback last year. Even if Darnold played above his head, like even if he wasn't going to do that again this year, like is JJ going to play to that level? Chances are probably not. Like the Vikings are probably hoping middle of the pack QB play. Like be the 15th best quarterback in the league. Our defense will run the ball better this year. That's probably what they're thinking. But if you go from 35 touchdowns from Sam Darnold to 20 with J.J. McCarthy, it's a pretty big difference. So we'll see if he can answer the bell or not. Speaking of quarterbacks, speaking of Caleb Williams, get yourself a jersey for only $100 today at chatsports.com/Caleb Jersey. That is chatsports.com/Caleb Jersey. All right. The Lions coaching exodus. They just lost a ton, man. And in the NFL, unlike other sports, coaching matters a lot. I'm not saying it doesn't matter at all in the NBA, in Major League Baseball, in the NHL. I'm saying it matters much more in the NFL because every play is called by a coach. Like in the NBA, sometimes you go 6-7 minutes. It's not pick up at the rec, but it's just kind of free-flowing basketball, right? There's not as much constant X's and O's. Coaching matters a lot. From the X's and O's to the motivation factor to being relatable to players, Matt Eberflus had very little of any of that. He ran a fine defense, but even his defense, as good as it was at times, was still pretty vanilla. I think Dennis Allen's going to get you more there for the Bears. You get Ben Johnson for the Lions. They lose Ben Johnson. They had by far the best offense in the NFL last year. 70 touchdown drives, or 46 touchdown drives of 70 yards or more, most in the NFL a year ago. Aaron Glenn, they lost a ton of players on defense throughout the season last year, and he still kept them competitive for the most part. Detroit lost both of them plus 6 more assistants. 6! Like, that's a lot to ask. And I think the wild card in all this is naturally you would think Jared Goff is probably going to decline at least a little, right? I like Jared Goff. I'm a Jared Goff defender. I think he's a good player. But is he going to play as good as he has the past 3 years? Because look at the year before Ben Johnson. Still solid numbers, right? I know one's scoffing at those numbers in 2021 in just 14 games. Like, that's solid. But he went from that to elite. His last 3 years, he averages basically 4,500 yards, 32 touchdowns, and 10 picks. Like, is he doing that without Ben Johnson? Maybe he is. And if he is, that kudos to Jared Goff. He's one of the elite quarterbacks in the NFL. But I could see him falling back. Maybe he's more like 25 touchdowns and 13 picks and 4,000 yards instead of 4,500 yards. Like, that adds up over the course of a season. I just think Ben Johnson's creativity and ability to get the most out of Jared Goff, I think Johnson deserves a lot of credit. Like I said, I'm a Goff guy. He played well under Sean McVay with the Rams. But it is undisputable that when he got Ben Johnson, he never played better. And now he doesn't have him anymore. So is he going to keep the train rolling, or could there be some rocky steps? I think naturally it's reasonable to think that it could be at least a somewhat turmoil period for Detroit this year with a couple of new coordinators. Okay, and then Green Bay. I kind of think they have an identity crisis because Jordan Love 2 years ago finishes on an absolute heater, and they make him the highest paid quarterback in the NFL, at least briefly, and then he's been topped by Dak and Josh Allen, etc. And then last year, he gets hurt week 1, and it never felt like Matt LaFleur fully trusted him. They became a run-first offense under Josh Jacobs. Now, part of that was Jacobs was just fantastic, so feed the beast, right? But I watched that playoff game against the Eagles last year. They were scared to let Love throw. He threw 3 picks. Didn't look good at all. And at times last season, it's like, is Jordan Love good? Like, I think he's solid, but like the reality is he played one half of a really good season in 2023. The first half of that year, he was pretty bad. And last year, I would say he was above average overall. Like, he was solid. He wasn't great, right? He wasn't anything special. Like, they need more out of him. And if they don't get it, are the Packers winning the division? I don't think they can win the division with last year's version of Jordan Love. Like, Josh Jacobs can't do it alone. Love's they're paying him to be one of the best quarterbacks in the league, and I would say last year he was like the 16th best. Like, if he doesn't play at a top 10 QB level, I don't think you're going to win the division. I don't think their roster is as good as Minnesota's. I'm not sure it's as good as Detroit or Chicago's. And I feel like LaFleur's stuck in the spot where he probably wants to throw the ball more, but he doesn't really trust Jordan Love. They went out and drafted 2 receivers. I don't know. It feels weird. They don't have a good pass rush. They cut Jair Alexander. Their cornerbacks are terrible. I think they have some glaring holes on that team. I really do. I think in the end, when you look at this division right now, all 3 other teams have legitimate question marks. Now, obviously the Bears have questions too. I'm not saying that. But I think like if you were just going to play natural stock up, stock down in the NFC North, I think the Bears stock is up and the others are either status quo or stock down. Like, even if you're still really high on the Lions, are they going to win 15 games again? Probably not. They probably wouldn't have done that if they kept Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn. And now without those guys, they're going to go 15-2? I don't think so. Like, they could lose 4 more games than they won compared to last year and still win 11 games. So they're going to regress. The question is how much. Like, do they just regress to like 13 wins and still win the division? Or are they more like a 10-11 win team? If they're more of the latter, then the Bears could compete with them. Vikings, what if J.J. McCarthy's just not that good? We have no idea. He hasn't played. What if Jordan Love is just kind of who he is? He's this up and down roller coaster, and Josh Jacobs is solid, but he can't. He's not Saquon. I don't know. I just think it's fair to say that these teams have questions. The Bears are the most improved team of the division. They should have won 7, if not 8 or 9 games last year as it is, and now they made all these upgrades from coaching to player acquisition. Why not us? That's all I'm going to say. Why not us? Who wins the NFC North this year? Type CHI for the Bears, DET for the Lions, FGB for the Packers, or MIN for the Minnesota Vikings. Get your thoughts in down in the comment section below. My name is Harrison Graham. Do not forget to hit that subscribe button. We will continue to pump out content on a daily basis. So hit the button and turn on notifications. That way you never miss an episode here on Chicago Bears Now. Alrighty. We're going to get out of here. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. You guys are real ones. Shout out to producer Jack for filling in. Cullen will be back live on Thursday. Any parting remarks, Jack? Not sure when the next time will be when you're on the channel. So
I have very high hopes for the Bears this year. I'm not just saying that. I think that they improved probably the most of any team in the NFL. I'm very excited to see how Caleb plays. I've been a Caleb defender since he was drafted. And FGB.
let's go. FGB. 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 We're out of here. Bear down.